Kevin. Recently I was watching Leaflit's video on AI art, and she had said that she hadn't heard anyone give a consistent philosophical position against AI art. And I had some qualms myself about AI art, so I thought I ought to consider my position to see if it was consistent. Now, she gave two main arguments. First was that the value of art is not in the effort that's put into the art, but it's the creativity. The second was that the copyright situation isn't how people think it is. That AI doesn't work the way people think it does. Now, she also talks a little bit about intentionality, and I think that's really what I want to focus on, because I think about the question of what is art? Well, art is communicating a message. You can think about the phrase "picture's worth 1,000 words," for example. Or you can think about what makes art bad. So art can be bad because it communicates a message badly. Think about a child's art, where you can't tell what it is. Now, you can say, well, the child's not really a great artist, but that's what you're saying, is that it's not a great artist because it's not communicating the message. And it could be also bad because the message that it's communicating is a bad message. And I'll let you just put in whatever you want to think about for that. So now, talk about communicating a message, you need intent. Because if you're not intending anything, you're not communicating a message. You're just spewing words out. It doesn't mean anything. It's not intelligible, so no one can do anything with it. Now, I say that's more important, or more clear than creativity. Because think about what is creativity? Well, that's like a new message. Either a new message or a new way to convey a message. Because think, what is something that's not creative? It's just derivative. It's the same thing, same message that you've seen before. So like I said, well, creativity is a little bit more important because you can have intent, but without the creativity, it's not beneficial. But it's unhelpful in thinking about it for AI, because if you don't have intentionality, you can't have creativity. So now going to the copyright argument. Now, we're talking about copyright, people think it's theft. So, I'm going to ask what's actually being stolen with copyright. Now, just like getting an impression, it's like copying. We can just imagine copying art and putting it on something else, like tracing almost. Now, Leaflit said that it doesn't work how people think, so let's say, okay, let's grant that it works exactly the same as humans do. As Solomon said, there's something new under the sun, so it's people, just in the same way people that draw inspiration from everywhere to construct their message. So yeah, it's the exact same thing. Well, what's the difference? Well, the person is drawing all that stuff to construct their message. They're drawing it to construct their message. And the AI isn't drawing it to construct a message. The AI doesn't have a message because there's no intent behind the AI. And so, to the extent you're not altering everything that the AI is generating, which in that case you almost may as well be drawing. Maybe it's easier. And in that sense, okay, we'll find the AI is better. Or I should say there's no problem with it. In that sense. But if it's not, then there's some portion of the image, possibly the whole image, which you already granted that was bad, so forget it, that was taken from other people's art, used without intent. Now, so how much intent is there in some background object? Probably not much. But it had to be a choice to include it when you're drawing yourself, because it takes effort. And now, effort isn't what makes it worth. I'm not saying that. But it means there had to be an intent to make an effort, because you don't make effort just for no reason. Now, how does that help with the ceiling situation? Well, when you're taking someone else's work to construct a message, then there's some way you could say be said to be transforming that work in order to convey a message. This is like same thing as an argument, for example. To respond to someone else's argument, you have to use their argument, or you can build off someone else's argument to further your own argument. And no one has a problem with that. But with AI, it's not doing that. It's just picking stuff from whatever algorithm it's got. And there's no intention behind it. And so that way you could say, an artist, for example, when they put their work out, they can say, you're free to use this like an argument. You can build on that argument. You can respond to that argument. But no one puts out an argument saying, hey, go ahead and strawman me. That's, who would say that? And that's the type of, it's like almost a strawman argument when you're using this without intent. That's the way I'm sort of thinking about it. And so, ultimately, my position is probably more pro-AI than anti-AI in the whole, but it's still not pro-AI in some sense.